Hey guys, my name is Scoby. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create a reverb or an echo style effect in Audacity. It's going to be a nice, quick and easy tutorial. I'm going to be showing you step by step how to recreate it. Let's give a quick listen to how it sounds. This is how you create a reverb in Audacity. So I'm going to give you a quick listen of what it sounds like without any editing. This is how you create a reverb in Audacity. So the first thing we'll be doing is highlighting the area in which you want to edit. If you want to select your whole track, you can simply click Ctrl and A or highlight and drag the entire track. We're going to be coming to Effect and we're going to be looking for Reverb. Now this is the reverb tab, and at first it can be looking a little bit intimidating, but I'm going to be going through each step by step to explain what each of the settings does. Now for those of you who don't know, reverb is kind of like an echo bounce kind of effect, but it's a bit more advanced than just a regular echo. In this case, all these settings are going to create an imaginary room around our sound to show that we're talking in this room and to give that echo bounce effect. Kind of like how when you walk into a church you can instantly hear that echo and bounce. This is what a reverb is kind of going to do, but we're going to be able to fine tune exactly how we want it. The first thing we'll be looking at is the room size, and this is going to determine how big your room is or how big your kind of echo and bounce is inside your actual reverb. Now by default this is at 40%, which is kind of like a low medium sized room. You can of course play with this to your heart's content. Usually I like a little bit bigger, but it really kind of depends on the effect you want. If you want to preview any of the sounds and any of the changes you make at any time, simply click preview at the bottom. I'm going to be showing you what 50 sounds like, and then I'm going to be doing some more settings, and then we'll do a preview later on. This is how you create a reverb in Audacity. So at first it sounds a little bit off, it sounds a little bit unnatural, but it's kind of getting to a point where we can play around with it some more. The pre-delay is going to determine the point from where we talk to the point from where we hear our echo. By default it's on 10 milliseconds. In this case I want it a little bit shorter judging by the room size, so I'm going to try 8. The reverberance is going to determine the bounce of the sound and how much it kind of wiggles and bounces. It's a bit of an odd concept to kind of try understand, but it's a little bit of trial and error to play around with this. The damping is going to determine how much of the sound is kind of dampened and how much of the echo is kind of absorbed into the surrounding rooms that we're creating. The tone low and the tone high are going to determine the highs and the lows of the sound bounced. So the tone low is going to determine more of the low end of the sound, so it's kind of going to determine the bass. And if you want to lower this down to make the echoed sound a little bit lower on the bass side, you can of course do this, and the high is going to do that also. In this case I'm going to be turning this down a little bit because I want my reverb sound to be a little bit of a lower quality. I don't want it to be as clear and sharp just because I kind of want it to feel like an actual room and not just like a really kind of studio kind of effect. The next two settings we're going to be looking at kind of share some similarities. Are the wet gain and the dry gain. The wet gain is going to focus particularly on the actual reverb sound, while the dry gain is going to focus on the bass actual original sound. But by increasing the wet gain, we're going to be increasing the sound of the wet audio, which in this case is the reverbed audio, and increasing this above the dry audio is going to make the reverb sound louder, and the dry gain is going to do the opposite. It's going to increase the volume of the actual original sound. There's a little bit of trial and error to play around with what you want to kind of get out of it. In this case I like leaving it default, but you kind of can play around with it if you wish. And finally you have the stereo width, which is going to affect the actual width of the sound only on a stereo track for the actual reverbed sound. Now some of these can be a little bit kind of intimidating, but it's really easy to get down once you start playing around with some of the sounds. I'm going to turn down the damping a bit. I want to put this to something like 40. Like I showed previously, I'm going to put the tone low and the tone high to 80. I'm going to put the pre-delay to 8 milliseconds. The reverberance I'm going to turn down to 10, and I'm going to give this a quick listen over. This is how you create a reverb in Audacity. Listening to this over now, hearing it a little bit later, I think the room size is a little bit too big, so I'm going to try dropping that down to 40. This is how you create a reverb in Audacity. And I think that sounds a little bit better. I kind of want the reverberance to be a little bit higher. I'm going to try 14 with this. This is how you create a reverb in Audacity. And that's exactly the kind of effect I'm going for. It's kind of giving that fullness a bit more. Now of course you can play around with this to make it sound like a church, to make it sound like any kind of room you want. It's a little bit of trial and error, and just play around with each of these settings to really fine tune the effect you're going for. But now that we've all the settings changed, we're ready to click OK, and our changes will be applied. And if we give it a final listen over, you can see that our changes have been added. This is how you create a reverb in Audacity. And it's as simple as that to create a reverb in Audacity. I'm also going to leave a link to my auto-tune in the description down below if you want to check that out. If you want to try auto-tuning in Audacity, really easy to do also. I'm also going to leave a link down below to my PayPal if you found this video helpful. If you want to support the channel, of course there's no pressure if you can't. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, as always, keep it saucy. Peace.